Hello, I'm John. My mum Iris had her 90th birthday on the 22nd of February 2014. It's a sad fact that we know so little of our parents' life as a young person. My mum is now at an age where she's forgetting things, so here is a collection of clips that we can always remember my mum. I want you to tell me, what is your earliest memory? Just think back into the past. What's your earliest memory, the earliest thing you can remember?
The only thing I can remember is that I didn't have a mother or father.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. And that woman, this woman that took me.
Essie Abbey.
Yeah, but all she had me, which I learned later on. All she had it from the government because they were giving her money for me. You know, so that because she was supposed to be keeping me.
Oh, like a foster parent.
Yeah, and she was a terrible woman. Oh, she was a terrible woman.
What'd she do?
She did nothing. She used to, when I wanted to get, when I went to school, I liked to play with it. When we used to play at night. When we came out, and she wouldn't have it. She used to come out and shout at me, and
It's okay.
she used to come out and shout, and I was on the thing with the children, and she said, "Get down," and nobody was allowed to speak to me. And when I got home, when I got to the house, or the house, all she did was, "Take your trousers off, take your pants off," and she'd hit me on my bottom with her whatever, all down here. She'd hit me, and then all she did was moan, and then she said, "Now get up those stairs." I never had any breakfast or any dinner or anything. I couldn't have anything. And the only way that anybody knew what was going on, across this was the one we were in, and these people had a house across the road, and she knew me, but she knew she couldn't speak to me. But she used to, when I went upstairs, and this woman had made me go upstairs and belted me, because I wasn't allowed to have a meal or anything. And it was her, I didn't know, but it was her, the lady across the road. She went to the council and said, "Look, something's got to be done about this. Iris has been terribly
Abused.
beaten, and she wasn't allowed to have, nobody was allowed to speak to her, and she was always battering her. She was terrible, and I want something done about it." And so they said, "Well, where do you live?" She said, she told them, said, I live across the road, but I've heard all what's going on, and that woman is terrible. She really is terrible, and she's ruining that child, because I was only a girl, a kid then. And so they came and stuck across the, where the people are, and this woman that was beating me and carrying on was in the across the road, across where they told her to sit there, this woman, and the people that from the house across the road that had told them what was happening. And she said, "You've got to do something about this." She said, that child is being beaten to death. She never goes anywhere apart from school, and she gets beat, and she can't have any meals. She's not allowed to have a meal because she said, "I can't, it's not fair. She's a child. She couldn't be treated like that." And they got into it. The council got into it, and they said, "Right, we're not taking any of this again." She said, so this woman said, "Well, I wanted to come back with me." So the council said, "No, you don't. You don't take that child." to your house ever again, because you're a cruel person," which she was. She was a so and so, and that's how I came to be with this
Salvation Army.
the Salvation Army, because the council, when they found out what was happening with me, they let me go. They put me in with those people you just said.
Salvation Army.
With the Salvation Army. I used to play in their garden, and they were lovely. They were so lovely, and I couldn't understand how they were so nice to me, because they really were such a nice. And that's how I came to be with the Salvation Army, because I was there as a child with the other children, playing in the garden, and it was lovely because I could play. And
Yeah, but when you left the Salvation Army, you went to live in. Didn't you live in Bristol?
Yes.
Well, you was there in the war, weren't you? In Bristol.
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember.
Weren't you working on the canteen, making the tea or something?
Oh yes, I used to work with the Salvation Army over there.
Giving tea out to the people who were bombed.
Yes, and when there was people, like in those days, the people that were worried because of it was the thing that was
The
going
war.
on. The war was going on, and I used to go along, and along the thing and give them something to eat and something to drink along the road. We looked after them,
Didn't you say once you saw blood running down the street or
Oh
something?
yes, the people, they were being terrible because it was the war. It was, and there was all what did you
Blood.
say? Blood all over the road. And I used to go with Ron was in the Royal Navy then, and I used to.
You didn't know Ron then, Mum. That was a long
No, I
time
didn't know
before.
him then, but he was in the Royal Navy.
Because you'd only be about.
He was in the Navy.
You'd only be about 18 then.
He was in the Navy. And but we used to go along the Salvation Army, and us used to go along where the people were that had nothing to eat, no food, and really they were not and they used to go along. We used to go along Salvation Army and give them food and water and different things, and try and look after them. Used to look after them.
But somebody donated
Yeah, but they used to bring it to us, and we used to hand it to the men, to the people. I used to leave them food and whatever we got, we used to give it to them on the road.
So how did you get to Liverpool then?
I don't know, I can't remember.
Because you must have been in Bristol and then you went to Liverpool.
I know.
And you met my dad.
Yeah. Well, he'd gone away from the Navy then. He was in the Royal Navy for a long time, and then he stopped. He came from the Royal Navy.
But he was Chinese.
Right.
My dad.
Oh, that one, yes. No, the first one, yeah. He was Chinese.
But did you work in a restaurant or something?
No.
You was a waitress in a restaurant.
Something, possibly, I can't remember.
Is that how you met him?
Who?
My dad. Chung.
The Chinese man?
Yeah.
Well, he was not the sort of person you could. Now I know. he couldn't. You had to sit in a corner and not say anything. And in Chinese, he was Chinese. He was. But when I've never talked about this because it's me, and I don't talk about things like this. But I was treated terribly. But
Well, what about the time? You might not remember, but you had to go in hospital because were you having another baby?
Me?
besides me and Kim, and you had to go in
Oh
hospital.
yes, that's right. Yes, and he died. He died. The other baby.
So you were pregnant with another baby, and you
Yeah,
had to go in hospital.
But it died.
And that's the when me and Kim were put into the cottage homes.
That's right. And he died.
Mm.
You know, all I remember is that he died. I don't remember seeing. I knew he was there or something, but he was. And people wouldn't. I don't know. It was so. I can't remember. It was so funny because I had to sit in that bloke's that was supposed to be my husband. You used to have to do this and do that and do the other. And I mean, I've never thought about it very much, but I was treated terribly. I mean, when I think about it now, but it's gone by. It's finished. You know what I mean? It doesn't.
Yes, it's all in the past.
It's all in the past. I don't. I don't. I've never talked about it only lately.
Don't you remember your mum and dad?
No.
Your proper mum and dad?
No. I never really had a mum and dad.
You did. It's on your birth certificate.
I don't remember.
Because you had your brother Aubrey, didn't you?
Aubrey, yeah. Yes, he died, bless him. Yes, Aubrey. He died,
Yes, I know now.
bless him.
I wish he hadn't. I wanted you to meet him.
I wish I hadn't myself because he was it you or somebody else was looking for
right.
him?
Yeah.
Yes, looking for him, and he was working with something somehow I can't remember, but they told the council what had been happening. They said, you know, this can't go on. This cannot go on.
No.
So Aubrey was. I don't know where they put him, but
Aubrey went to a different family,
Yeah,
didn't
they did.
he? Yes.
but he never had a.
You said
Yeah,
he
right.
came home from school and he was gone.
Yeah, and he never. I only saw him about twice because he was working. He was working evidently. And when you and I went to look, if you remember, I went to go and see if I could find him, and they told me that he'd died. He'd been working, but he died. So I never saw him again. I never saw him again.
No.
When you think of all that.
He was living up in Leeds.
That's right. Bless him.
Yes.
Aubrey. Bless him. And I never met him again.
No.
Never saw him again.
No.
Well, Mum, you've travelled a lot all over the world.
Well, I know that. Well, I did after. I mean, once I got my own work, you know, when I worked for Roger Moore and Michael Caine and worked for all those people, cooking for all these people. And I love Roger Moore and Michael Caine. When I was cooking, and the car drew up because of the car. Michael's car was in the back, and he put it in, and he came into the kitchen to me, Roger Moore and Michael Caine, and they said, "Iris, we've come to see you." I said, "I know that, but I'm working." "Never mind. We came to see you and we love you." And they patted us on the shoulders. And he loved his animals. He loved animals, Roger Moore. He still is. He still comes on the television now about his animals because he loved animals. But I suppose I went through hell. But it's gone. It's gone.
But you've had some happy times, haven't you?
Oh yes, once I went to.
And you've seen some wonderful things.
Oh yes, with Roger
Remember
Moore
when
and
you
Michael
flew over
Caine.
the Grand Canyon in a helicopter?
Yeah. Oh yes. Do you remember when it came down and
Yes.
you were
When
sliding?
General
Do you remember?
Greenleaf.
You were sliding
Mhm.
down. You were
Right.
you were sliding down, playing. It was lovely. But then it was when people were. I worked for people that were nice,
Yes.
and they're still, I still think the world of them, because they were lovely people.
Mm. Yes.
Mm.
Well, I can't say I've met anyone famous.
Hmm?
I haven't met anyone famous.
Me?
Only the Sultan of Brunei.
Oh yeah, you have, haven't you?
The what?
The Sultan of Brunei.
What's that?
The Sultan that is the richest man in the world. And he owns Brunei, the country,
Oh, I know.
and all the
Yeah,
people that live there.
I know.
And a
I
lot
remember,
more.
I remember
apart from
when
that.
Michael, because he had a home in
Windsor.
Windsor and a home in America, and he was these lads were trying to get hold of these blokes that were trying to get in his house, and he always his house was always closed. It wasn't left. It was left open, and his animals were left open because he loved animals and they could come in and out. And they started. These kids came to his house and said, and tried to hit these animals. And he said, I remember, I can see him now. He said, "Get away from here. They're my animals. Don't you dare come in this house again." He said, "I mean it. Don't you dare come here again near these animals."
Mm. Alex, and you've got your eye drops. Mm.
Bless you, darling.
I think Caroline said she's going to make. She's going to get you some shopping tomorrow because you need some food.
Yes, she
and
is.
stuff.
Well, the fridge is empty. I had a look this morning.
know.
She said,
She's going to do it for me. There's all there is in there is some bread. That's all there is in there.
I know. I hope John's making you a lovely meal tonight.
oh yeah, I'm going to make her some.
Oh, he does, bless him.
So you can look forward to that.
Yeah, I do, bless him.
She likes her boiled eggs in the morning, that's what she likes.
And I prefer.
She likes sandwiches, don't you?
I like sandwiches better than a meal, if you know what I mean. It's nice that.
Supposed to be vegetarian, she had chicken sandwiches last night.
Yes,
Oh.
I like that.
Yes.
I've had it before, haven't I?
Yeah, and you had ham sandwiches the other day.
That's right. I ham sandwich. Was it this morning or yesterday?
No, a few days ago.
That's right.
Because
I
you had
like
fish the one night.
I like that.